Come, Holy Spirit, come by the most powerful intercession of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, your well-beloved spouse. I would like to speak about my experience with the New Age movement and yoga, the trappings and the deceit that is attached to that. And it has a lot to do with the topic that I just covered, which is the first commandment, where God says, "You shall not have other gods before me. I am the Lord your God. There is no other God than me, the true, life-giving, love and light source of goodness, the one true living God. If you have any other gods than him, then you are no longer dealing with spirituality. You're dealing with occult." Now, the first time I had ever heard about yoga was in my teenage years. And my mother, who was very well informed about this, had always said, "Stay away from that. That's something bad for you." There's many things that my parents told me and taught me. And did I take all those things seriously? Yes, maybe for a while, but in my 30s, not so much. I didn't think that they were aware of the times, and I thought, oh yeah, that's just superstition, fear talk, guilt talk. And that was kind of the temptation that the devil had going with me, is that you have to be open-minded. You have to be open to everything and accepting of everything. And so I didn't listen to my parents, and I started to delve into things that are esoteric, going to people that are doing so-called natural healing. And there was this little voice in the back of my head, like, you shouldn't be doing this. Something's not right with this. But I was like, I would always push that down and be like, okay, there's nothing wrong there. Everything's positive and good. And I was just trusting these people. And now, looking back, I understand where my depressions were coming from. I think I really believe that I opened myself to a realm of darkness by turning away from the faith and turning away from Jesus, who clearly said, "I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. Just stick with me and you won't get lost." So I went off that path and just lost my trust in God, and started to depend on other things. Now, in the 2000s, I remember yoga became a huge topic, and it was especially through Madonna. She was all about the yoga, and, that didn't really get me, because I found, in general, Madonna not a very positive influence. So that wasn't the reason why I started doing yoga. It was more because all of a sudden I started hearing that, my friend, she's just saying it's amazing. It relaxes you. You get so filled with energy. I got books from, a friend who also was not aware that this is the New Age movement, by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and 90% of it, it's just all about love and unity and peace, and it sounds really spiritual. But then there's that 10% in there that is leading you away from Jesus, where Jesus is just a prophet and all these half-truths. So it's like chocolate-covered poison. And this is the way that the evil one works in his deceit. He comes clothed in light, but he's the opposite of light and life and love. And all he wants is our destruction. So I thought to myself, okay, at that time, I'll try the yoga. I got some DVDs from our school library so that I could do it at home. I got the mat for my birthday and the whole get up. And I started getting up early and doing yoga, thinking to myself, it has nothing to do with spirituality. It's just exercise, deep breathing, positions. And I started to feel really energized and good at the beginning. And after a while, and see, I didn't realize this at the time, but now looking back, I can see how all of a sudden I was having thoughts that were not good. Really strong thoughts, like about how my marriage isn't good, and look at your husband, and pointing out all the negative things. And I was like, where is this coming from? And these ideas, you could find somebody better. I started to really get into this modus of egoism. What about me? I was getting more and more me, myself, and I-centered. And thank goodness we had rediscovered our Blessed Mother Mary, and we started to pray the Rosary. And there was this real unease happening there. And so in our parish, there was a visit from sisters coming from Russia. And they had all these beautiful pictures and things that they had, candles and icons. And I saw this one icon of an angel. And I asked the sister, what is this for an angel? And she said, this is the Archangel Gabriel. And it really pulled me. So I bought this picture, brought it home. I Googled, wanted to know more about Archangel Gabriel. What does Archangel Gabriel stand for? And it was written there clearly. Archangel Gabriel is the angel that stands for the truth, for communication. The name Gabriel means the strength of God. So in that moment, I asked Archangel Gabriel to become our patron and to specifically lead me to the fullness of the truth, because I felt like something's not right with these books by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Something's not right about the yoga. I'm just not at peace anymore. Well, this was last September. And I started to get, pulled to look into YouTube, which I never normally did. I wasn't a YouTube person. And so I was like, okay, so I looked into YouTube. It was like this strong thought, and I know that came from Archangel Gabriel. So I Googled, I looked into YouTube, and the first video that we found was the testimony of an ex-Satanist who became Christian. And I sat down with my husband, we watched this together, and it was a powerful, powerful testimony. I wanted to share it with others, but a few days later it had been blocked off of YouTube. I started to discover more and more information on the dangers and the deceit of the New Age movement. And one morning, it was 10 o'clock in the morning, after breakfast, the kids had gone to school, I went again into YouTube and I found a video, and the title was Yoga and the Occult, X which tells all. So I started looking at this testimony, and this woman who was involved in Satanism is explaining what yoga really is, that it's the harnessing of powers coming from these goddesses, Shandi and Shiva, and that this is literally changing your body into a channel for demons, that you become a portal, whether you want it or not. Being involved in these ritual movements is something very dangerous and spiritual indeed. Now, I looked up yoga before I did this video, and it describes it like this, that yoga was developed to achieve harmony between heart and soul on the path to divine enlightenment. From the Vedas in India, it's one of the 6 orthodox schools of Hindu, 1900 BC. It has to do with Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism. So it is very much a spiritual thing to bring you to a so-called higher consciousness. And it is meditative and spiritual at its core. Now, the patron god or goddess of yoga is Shiva, and Shiva is part of the triumvirate, which is a type of trinity god in Hinduism. And the triumvirate, 3 gods, are the god Brahma, which is the god of creation, Vishnu is for upkeep, and Shiva is the god of destruction. Now, any god apart from the living God is demonic. These are demonic, these are demons, demonic spirits. So when I saw this video, I immediately called my friend and I said, oh my goodness, you have to have a look. I sent you this video from YouTube on WhatsApp. And she said, okay, I'll have a look. So she went into what I had sent her, and she took a deep breath and told me over the phone, she said, Angèle, you wouldn't believe it, I'm looking at the exact same video right now. We're looking at the exact same video at the same time. So that was a clear confirmation from God saying, that's it, stay away. You've been deceived. Do not delve in these things. This is part of the occult. Now, I want to share this experience with all of you as a warning to stay away from this. What I did after that moment, that very clear confirmation, and it was also confirmation for my friend, I got all of these esoteric books, anything that could be involved with occult symbolism, books, CDs, everything, my yoga mat, the DVDs, and I put it in the garbage. Got it out of my house. I went to the sacrament of confession, and I was delivered and healed by the oppression that I had opened myself up to. And all of those thoughts to possibly, cheat on my husband or, give up on my marriage, to be, more centered on myself, all the thoughts of, getting drunk and being promiscuous and all of these things just went away and my peace returned. So let us trust in the Lord and stay away from these things that are very dangerous for the life of our souls. God bless you and protect you.